Hello everybody, this is Louisa with Ellie Paper Studio, and this is my mini album tutorial. I'm going to do, this tutorial is going to be to make the same album. This album I've made in different versions, a Disney version, this Christmas version, I think that's it actually. But it's real fun because it doesn't require a lot of product, and also it can hold a lot of pictures, and it can hold up to 5x7 pictures, definitely 4x6s and any other size. And I've counted, and so far you can fit up to, or not up to, about 40 to 50 pictures, probably even more if you make use of the pockets and don't just put the pictures in there. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. What you'll need is you'll need some advanced tape, or your ATG, whatever type of double adhesive tape that you can find. I highly recommend this one because for the price, the gun's a little bit more expensive. It's about $20 on Amazon, but the refills are about $9.99 at Michael's, and you can get them with a 40% or 50% off coupon for less. And it brings 2 refills, and the refills are 36 yards of adhesive, so that's really good. A really good deal. You'll need one 12x12 sheet of chipboard, or you can get away with 2 8.5x11s if you don't have a 12x12. Then you're going to need your paper collection. I'm going to be using, this album's going to be cat themed. It's going to be the album, I showed you this in a recent paper haul. So this, I'm going to be using this Deja Vu's A Cat's Life scrapbooking kit, which brings this 8x8 paper, and also brings a few sheets of stickers and some die cuts. And then you will need, and this is what I've calculated roughly, for the pages you will need 6 8.5x11s. Then for the cover, the front cover and the back cover, you're going to need 4 more. And then for your flaps and for your mats, you're probably going to need 5 to 6 more. So that's 6, 4, 10. Roughly about 20 to 25 sheets of cardstock. I chose different colors because I want my flaps to be, and my mats to be different color. The other thing is that you don't need to make the pages all the same color. If you look at my Disney album, every single page is a different color, so you can get away with that. So for the measurements, the album measures, this one measures 6 inches by 8.5. And which is why you can get away with just one 12x12 chipboard. You can get away with just one of those for your front and your back. And then the pages are going to measure 8.5 by 5.5. And the 5.5, that ½ inch, you're going to use for your spiral bound. If you don't want to do spiral bound and you want to do a hidden hinge system, you can also do that. You're still going to lose about 1/4 to ½ an inch of the insert. And then the mats that go inside, which is what holds the 5x7s, these are 5 1/4 by, or 5 3/4, or sorry, 3/8 by 7.5. So you can put a 5x7 picture or a 4x6, and you can put it portrait or landscape because it just goes into the pocket. And I actually didn't calculate those mats into your into the sheets, the number of sheets that I told you. So you're probably going to need 25 for sure, 25 to 26 8.5x11 sheets of cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I'll fast forward the video where I can. I'm going to start cutting the pages that go inside, and I'm going to do 6 pages, and all you have to do is grab your paper cutter, which you will also need, and I forgot to mention. And I may be out of frame a little bit, but you take your 8.5 by 11 and you're gonna put it landscape style, and you're gonna cut at 5.5. and they're 2 sheets of the same size, which is perfect. That's exactly what you need. Next, you're going to cut your chipboard, and you're going to cut it at 6 inches. And next you're going to cut it, so you cut it 6 inches, and you can do 8.5 or 8 3/4. I'm going to do 8 3/4, just so that my album is, my covers are just a little bit taller. And you have these 2 pieces of chipboard that you can use for future projects. So you've already cut, at this point, you've cut your pages and your front. Now you're going to want to cut the cardstock that's going to cover your pages. For my albums, what I have been doing is just cutting the cardstock exactly at the same measurement, so you wouldn't, it doesn't wrap around the chipboard. So you can see some chipboard, but I'm perfectly okay with that. Or you can use a 12 by 12 and wrap it around. So you're gonna want, because this is 6 inches by 8 3/4, you're gonna want 6 inches by 8 3/4. So on the long side, you're gonna cut at 8 3/4, and then 6 inches on this side. And there's your one of your covers. So far you've used 6 sheets of cardstock, and so for your covers you're going to need exactly 4 sheets of cardstock just for the covers. Okay. These extra pieces of paper, don't throw them away, because you're going to be making pockets with these. And you can use them for other purposes, for your belly bands and whatnot. So don't throw these away. I try to make use of every single piece of paper that I have. Okay, so next you can start putting your pages together. I'm going to do the pages first. And what I do is really simple. You can do one of 2 things. If you want a mad that is exactly this width, then you can score, but you will lose a 1/2 inch. Because I don't want that to happen, and I'm okay with my mad being just a little shorter, which is 7.5. What I do is that I take sticky tape and put it at the very edge of your short waist, your album going short waist. I'm using 1/4 inch score tape. Sorry, I've been calling it tacky tape. But 8.5, an 1/8 of an inch would be ideal. Okay, so now that those are all set up, I'm going to go ahead and glue my cover. And like I said, it's really simple. I just use, was just cleaning my gun, so it's throwing some and this one, this is some of what the water that's coming out of my gun. It'll be okay though, because it'll be covered by paper. And I guess I didn't cut this well enough because it is showing a little bit of the chipboard, but again, I'm probably going to put the spiral on this side, so it'll be just fine. And if you hear some noises in the background, that's my cat. He is in the room with me. Okay, so this is nice and glued. I've already gone ahead and glued, actually this is not nice and glued, and it's missing a side. Thankfully that worked to my advantage. Okay, I already did this cover, and I've actually done my holes in all of my pages, and I punch out 9 holes. You can do as many as you want. I find 9 is good, 9 to 8 is good. And I'm using my cinch for this. And really with the cinch, you want to be very careful. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I make a mark in the middle one of my 9 holes. And then I come and try to center it as much as possible. And right now I'm using hole 7 as my reference. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And try to center it with very good precision. And here goes. So here we are, perfect alignment of my sheets. Maybe this will help you a little bit more. Well, it's not perfectly centered, so it won't, but so now we basically have our mini album all ready to go. With this mini album, I would recommend just putting it together already as it is here, because your flaps, you're gonna build on them. You can either do that or build your pages first. It's not really that big of a deal. Whatever is easiest for you. I just like to have it all put together already. So I'm going to go ahead and bind it. And here we have a perfectly bound album. And I know that my cover, I did it backwards. I did the holes the wrong way. But that's okay. I kind of like how it turned out. I put the binding in the back, which is what I was trying to do with this one, but I did it backwards, so it's in the front, which is a little bit more difficult to maneuver. But now you can start building your album. So now what I do next is I start looking at building my pages, and I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video now and start a new video, so each page will be its own video.